Hey guys, I'm making this video after I already uploaded yesterday's video. I ran some errands today. Just wanted to show you one other thing about Sam's Club. Now there is one drawback to buying in bulk. Anything that's perishable, obviously if you can't use what you buy in a huge size, it doesn't do you much good. Now I've found that coffee is unfortunately one of those examples. I'm the only coffee drinker in the house, and I do drink a lot of it, but not enough to really take advantage of Sam's Club. Here is a 1.5 pound bag. This is the biggest bag you can get in a grocery store. This is beyond the standard size coffee bag, and I can do this. This is no problem. By the time I finish this bag, it still tastes reasonably fresh. You save a little bit getting this bigger package. And you can get this. I get this at Sweet Bay, but you can get it at Walmart. You'll probably have a couple different brands. And I only drink the whole bean because I like to grind it here at home, so I'm very limited in what I can get because they don't really sell that many whole bean coffees anymore. But I want to show you what you can get at Sam's. Sam's sells this huge bag of it, and it's about half price. I mean, it's a really, really good deal, but the problem is I get about halfway through this big bulk bag, and it's not tasting very good. It's getting a little bitter because it's not fresh. You know, it's got to be stored airtight, and it takes me at least 2 weeks to go through this bag. And that's drinking like at least a pot and a half a day on average. So coffee, I'm going to get away from going to Sam's. Yeah, it's going to cost me a little bit more again, but at least I can enjoy all the coffee and I'm not regretting having bought it or throwing some of it out if it's just really, really bad. So that's just another thing. And Sam's doesn't have a lot of stuff that's really healthy. For example, creamers. They only have two. This one here, it comes in a bulk pack. You have to separate them. But they're really cheap, obviously. I mean, it's like, I think, $3 for two of these. You know, that's like half price, at least. But they don't have any fat-free or sugar-free ones. So I tried this. I tried the bulk pack of these for the last couple weeks. And I don't know, I kind of feel like it makes a bit of a difference, especially since I go through so many of them. I go through about a whole container a week. You can see on here it's 64 servings, 35 calories, 15 calories from fat, and it's not sugar-free. Now I've tried the fat-free and I've tried the sugar-free, and I don't know if there's a huge difference between the two, but I feel better on the sugar-frees. So that's what I've been using most recently. I haven't switched too many times, but I'm gonna stick with the sugar-frees. Now these are, why is it in Spanish? Okay, they say 63 servings, so about the same, 15 calories as opposed to 35, and 10 from fat as opposed to 15, and 2 grams of carbs, no sugars, no sodiums. So, you know, not good for you, but certainly not bad for you. I definitely need creamer in my coffees. The only disadvantage I find to using the sugar fat-frees is I have to use a little bit more in the cup just to get the creamy flavor. Whereas this, I just use a little bit of a splash. So I go through these maybe 1.5 a week. And I also went out and got these rubber, I guess I call them mats, but they're basically replacement for paving stones. They're made out of rubber, so they're never going to crack. You don't have to set them in sand or anything. They're expensive. They were $7 each. I got 4 of them, but I put them underneath the bird feeder there. And the reason I did that is because there was just so much seed debris underneath. I was wasting a lot of seed because the squirrels would get up there and they'd drop all the seeds on the ground, and then they were lost, and they were going through a whole feeder worth of seed every 3 days, and that stuff's not cheap, I'm gonna tell you. So this way it'll fall on the mats and they can at least eat it off of there and it won't get lost. And then when it's dirty, I just flip them up and clean them off again. And then I had to double check all my fittings. I had 3/8 inch coming from the supply lines in the house for the toilet and sink, and I verified on the new faucet I got that I needed 1/2 inch for the new vanity, and it's a good thing I checked because the guy said they were 3/8. And then I got one for the toilet. So that should be, I think, the last purchase I need to make, as far as I know. Woohoo! Day 216. No bathroom guy yet. Ooh, there's a little squirrel. Something tells me this guy isn't going to show up today again. It's after 10 now, and he's not answering my texts, not answering my calls, and I have no idea where he is. Chloe, no bark. Par for the course. Well, I got a client coming here in a few minutes, and that's just going to be a little monitor calibration, so that'll at least... Chloe, what did I say? That'll at least pay for the guy's day of services if he ever decides to show up. Chloe. Well, it's about 11:30. My client for the day just left, and I finally heard back from the bathroom guy. He returned my text that he's leaving another job that I didn't even know he was going to go to, and he'll be here around noon. So realistically, we're looking at another 3, maybe 4 hour day. So definitely not going to make much headway today again. Well, I'm never saying I'm making the last trip again. Another part that he forgot I needed. I got a new pewter threshold, go between the carpet in the bedroom and the flooring, and some new pewter nails for it. Not expensive, but another trip to the store. 2 hours in, this is all that's gotten done so far. Well, back to Home Depot when I finish what I'm doing here. The handle just broke on my outside patio door. Okay, just an update. Still working through here. It's about 5:30, and I've basically just had to turn into a foreman. But that at least is working out, and stuff is getting done now. I've had to stop what I'm doing out here. I've been working in my office, which is almost next to where the bathroom is being done. So I pop in every 20 minutes or so, make sure he's on track, make sure he's not doing stuff wrong. I've caught a couple things now. He had part of one of the shower walls tiled, and they were uneven. I mean, it's like, how can you miss that? I said, hey, you gonna even those out? He's like, what are you talking about? So I showed him. He's like, oh, man, I gotta take these down. The attention to detail just isn't there, but it's plugging through. Got one wall just about done. He's just got a couple more to do at the top, doing some custom cuts for. And then he said he's going to finish off the marble for the main floor. He said he doesn't have time to do the whole thing tomorrow, so he's bringing in another guy just to do painting tomorrow while he finishes tiling the shower. Said, that's fine. You know, I'm not paying any extra. If you want to hire a second guy to help you out, go right ahead. So I'll have 2 guys tomorrow morning, supposedly. We'll see. At this point, I don't say what's going to happen. I'll just tell you what has already happened, because you can't count on anything happening on schedule. But tomorrow will be interesting. Do I think it'll all be done? No, I really don't. At this point, realistically, I'm thinking Saturday, given the past history. 3.5 weeks. I think that's probably realistic at this point. And I already have to go back to Home Depot because he forgot I needed some white enamel for the trim pieces. All I got was the ceiling paint and the main wall color paint. So, I didn't know. Just tell me what I need, I'll go get it. So I got to go back for that tonight. And let's see, what else was I going to say? Oh, a cool update on the beers that I got, I don't know, about a week ago. Tried them all, finally. And I had 5 different ones. I accidentally got one twice. But that was okay, because that one turned out to be pretty good. They're all supposed to be craft beers. And craft beers, to me, are a lot of flavor, a lot of body, something special, something more than just the normal, off-the-shelf, mass-produced beer. And usually that means a little more alcohol content for more bite and more experience. Well, only one really lived up to that, and it didn't surprise me because I had it before. And Paul Tyler, if you're watching, it was with you. I had the Russian Stout on draft over at Cigar Castle in Tampa. If anybody comes down to the Tampa area and you're into cigars, definitely check out Cigar Castle. They have an awesome bar in there. Really good prices too. They have, 24 different really good craft beers on tap. I have not even tried 3/4 of them. Haven't heard of half of the brands at all, but all kinds of cool stuff. So I had the Russian Stout there for the first time, and it was so good I had 4 glasses while we were there. I mean, we were there like, I don't know, what were we there, 5-6 hours, Paul? Anyway, really good beer, totally the same out of a bottle. Lots of flavor, very smooth, thick, low carbonation, just a beautiful, what I would consider stout. You know, that's what I look for. All the things that I love in the Dogfish Head Worldwide Stout, but only $3 a bottle. It doesn't have the fruity nature of the Worldwide Stout, and not as much alcohol. Like the Russian was only, I want to say, 11 or 12%, and the Worldwide Stouts, I mean, it's up there. I think it's 17 or 18 last year. I know I got a bottle of their 120-minute IPA, which I think that's an 18, 16 or 18. I believe that's their most alcohol content. It's so up there that 2 or 3 years ago, they lost their entire batch because it went off. So, I mean, it's right on the limit of what you can do with the beer. But the Worldwide Stout, just, fantastic flavors. But really expensive, about $10 a bottle around here. I can get it down in a Clearwater store called Total Wines. That's like the Sam's Club of beer and wine and liquor. I mean, it's literally a huge warehouse filled with anything from anywhere in the world. It's an awesome place, but not cheap. Certainly nothing I would ever regularly drink. But the Russian Stout was only, I think, $2.89, $2.99, somewhere right in there. None of those that I got were more than 2 something. So fantastic deal. Definitely check that one out if you're into that kind of stout. The other one that was okay was the Samuel Smith's Organic Chocolate Stout. Not nearly as robust, thinner, but really good flavor. It kind of went between a milk chocolate and a dark chocolate. Seemed like the colder it was, like fresh out of the fridge, it had more of the creamy hot cocoa-like chocolate taste. And then towards the end, it shifted to a little bit more of a hoppiness. So you get the bitterness and it went to like a dark chocolate. But it wasn't as thick, wasn't as rich and creamy or as overall flavorful as the Russian Stout. But it was still very delicious, and I think that one was only like $2.10 a bottle. I mean, that was pretty cheap. The other 3 I would never buy again. They were just like, you know, what would happen if Budweiser made something and put some fancy label on it. They were nothing special, hardly any flavor, very light, very thin, absolutely worthless. No special flavors at all. I would completely forget about those. So if you're a stout lover like me, definitely check out the Rasputin Russian Stout and the Samuel Smith's Chocolate Organic Stout, if you can find those. Those are definitely worth picking up for under $3 a bottle. Give it a shot. Okay, this is going to be a little mini rant. I'm betting this is my replacement hard drive. It just came via UPS. Yep, it's from Newegg, so this is going to be my replacement hard drive. The first one, packaged identically, was DOA. Okay, UPS just dropped this off. They just kind of gently but tossed it down on my front porch. And you can see this is a pretty small package. And I'm going to bet it's the exact same kind of packaging the first one was in, just a thin little airbag. So it was absolutely no shock to me that the first one was DOA with such crappy packaging. Usually a mechanical fault like that is from shipping damage, which is why OEM packaging is typically way better than this. Yep, this is the exact same thing as the first one. This isn't even hard shell plastic. This is just air. So we got a little tiny clamshell airbag. That's it. It's the only thing that protected this. There is not much cushion here. So I hope this one's better. Success! The new drive is working. Just got it laying in there for now while I tested it. Didn't feel like swapping everything over and having it be DOA like the first one. Okay. Well, that's a plus at least. Okay, end of the day. It's about 8 o'clock. This was about 7.5 hours of his work. Made a lot of mistakes, had to redo some stuff, and like I said, I had to keep coming in and checking, and there's a couple small things that I'm going to have him redo or touch up. One is the lip right there. You can see that middle tile, it's not completely even, and he tried to fill it in with grout, but the left-hand side of it is squared off and the right side is sloped. So my eye goes right to it. All he's got to do is build that right side of it up with a little grout and square it off, and it'll be okay. You won't see it. And it'll be less visible, obviously, once the toilet's in and the shower doors are in too, because the toilet's right there. So, it's just one of those things where I don't want a potential new buyer to just have something to complain about. And then all he got done is most of this wall here. And I made him redo some of this because he was doing it. And I'm poking my head in and I see some of the tiles are not flat. I thought they were kind of drooping or coming off. I'm like, hey, you got some, coming off at the tops there. And he's like, huh, what are you talking about? So I showed him and he's like, oh man, you had to take them off. Just not a real good attention to detail kind of thing. Kind of worried about the bottom of the floor tile there. I think most of that's grout, but I wouldn't be surprised if some of it is thin set, so he's got a hell of a cleanup job to do. Definitely has never done this before. He admitted he'd never done the shower floor before, never worked with the small tiles before, and I honestly don't think he's ever really done anything like this before. I think he's done a lot of small stuff. You can see it's a really sloppy cut around the toilet. Now again, you're not going to see that because the toilet is going to cover it. You got the wax ring and then the bowl, but still, that's not even close, man. That is not even close. He's just eyeballing some stuff. But at least the major stuff is good. The seam lines look good. The tile seams line up with the ledge seams. What do you think, Chloe? Yeah, I don't know either. But this is going in. I got 2 guys coming tomorrow, like I said. One guy's going to be painting around supposedly 9. Now supposedly the main guy says he's going to be here at 7 to finish up all the tile work and a little bit of trim prep here for the painter guy. I don't think that's probably going to happen. I think he'll probably get this trim stuff done. I got new trim and everything in the garage. It's got to be primed and painted. And then this has to be kind of cleaned up. He's got a little bit of mudding to do. He's got some sanding to do. And, that'll be ready for the painter guy. These shelves are MDF, so they're nice and smooth. I went and had a full sheet cut up so that these could all be put in the way we wanted. And they're nice and firm. The original shelves that were in here were cut in half. They were pretty much the exact same thing, but they were cut in half, so you had 2 parts to each one. And they were plywood, and they were covered in contact paper, and they were spongy, and they sagged. These are nice and stiff. A lot lighter, too. And the cool thing is they are perfectly smooth, so all you have to do is paint them. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. See ya.